Believe it or not, CM Punk as the next World Heavyweight Champion doesn't sound like a crazy idea at all. Considering how he arrived in WWE after everything that went wrong during his final months in AEW, CM Punk's return has turned out to be one of the biggest successes of the Paul Levesque era, as he has had a tremendous 2024. As Punk doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon, I do think there's a huge possibility that the company puts the World Heavyweight title on him in the near future. With the kind of value Punk brings to his programs, he could definitely turn things up as we head into 2025 and chase a world championship. My name is Mex, this is WrestleManiac UK, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get into this video and see if CM Punk is the right guy to dethrone Gunther and become the World Heavyweight Champion. Whatever CM Punk is involved in means something. When CM Punk was at AEW and he was seemingly booking the show Collision, it was good stuff, and Collision hasn't really been the same ever since CM Punk was fired from AEW. The show had compelling stories, the matches were top tier, and there was something to look forward to week on week. I do think the show wouldn't have suffered the way that it did had Punk never got into that physical altercation with Jack Perry at All In. Apart from Collision, AEW in general suffered from Punk's termination. Whether you like him or not, Punk was the biggest draw in AEW for the entirety of his run. No one has filled the gap left by Punk's absence. Tony Khan tried to look smart when he aired the Punk and Perry All-In footage in 2024, but it backfired massively, and it showed that even in Punk's absence, he was still the biggest draw in AEW. The rumours of Punk joining WWE began heating up as we approached the 2023 Survivor Series PLE. No matter how much it was reported that Punk was in talks with WWE for a potential return at Survivor Series, it was hard to predict whether or not Punk was going to appear at the event. Excitement was through the roof on the day of the show. Fans were chanting Punk's name throughout the night, and just when you thought the show was about to go off air, the iconic Cult of Personality song hit, and Punk made his WWE return to one of the biggest pops we have ever heard. It was hard to imagine CM Punk in WWE at the beginning of 2023, but it became a reality nonetheless. As weeks went by, Punk made appearances on Raw and SmackDown, and he once again proved that he brings value to any show that he's at. It seemed before the Royal Rumble PLE that he was set to have a program with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40, which was likely going to main event night 1 of the show. The excitement surrounding that feud was sky high, considering the real life animosity between the two men. Punk also came across as the favourite to win the men's Royal Rumble match, but Cody Rhodes ended up winning the whole thing. Considering Punk tore his triceps during the match and the stuff that was going on between The Rock and Rhodes, the decision to put Rhodes over in the men's Royal Rumble match was the right call. Punk's injury was turned into a storyline with Drew McIntyre, who had totally reinvigorated himself by turning heel. As time went by, it became clear that Punk's first proper feud after returning from injury was going to be up against Drew. I have to give a special shout out to Drew for his hilarious posts on X that helped make this feud with Punk even more compelling. Things heated up when Punk attacked McIntyre at WrestleMania 40, which led to Damian Priest taking the opportunity to cash in and win the World Heavyweight title from McIntyre. Punk was enraged that McIntyre continued to take shots at him after injuring him at the Rumble. From that point onward, Punk was hell-bent on making Drew pay for his actions. Punk would go on to cost McIntyre the chance to regain the World Heavyweight title after he interfered during McIntyre's match against Damian Priest at the Clash at the Castle pay-per-view. McIntyre retaliated by brutally attacking Punk on SmackDown. Punk fired back by attacking McIntyre when he tried to cash in his Money in the Bank contract during Damian and Seth's match for the world title. Having been screwed out of the world title, McIntyre wanted Punk at SummerSlam. The two had a perfectly booked, story-driven match, which McIntyre won. Punk got his win back at Bash in Berlin in a strap match. All signs pointed towards a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood, which we got. The two delivered a violent and bloody match which went down as one of the best WWE matches of the year. 2024 has proved to be an excellent year for Punk. He continued building a feud with McIntyre whilst he was injured, and he didn't disappoint with his performances inside the ring. Their feud was only rivaled by Swerve Strickland and Adam Page in AEW for Professional Wrestling Feud of the Year. Punk recently joined hands with the original Bloodline to take down Solo Sikoa's Bloodline in a War Games match at Survivor Series. Even though the plan for WrestleMania 41 seems to be Punk versus Rollins, there's a good chance Punk feuds with Gunther before Rollins. This is why I think the idea of Punk raising the world title doesn't sound absurd at all. Gunther has done a good job with the world title. He has put on great matches with Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest, as the man is simply incapable of having a bad match. However, it hasn't been groundbreaking like his IC title reign, and his World Heavyweight title run doesn't need to be another 666 days long. Gunther is going to win more world titles in the future, as he's going to remain in the company and the main event scene for years to come, so dropping the title to Punk isn't going to hurt the ring general when you really think about it. A match at the Royal Rumble PLE could realistically happen, as Punk, before his Hell in a Cell match against Drew, made it clear that he wanted a shot at the world title. On the other hand, Netflix definitely wants the top names of the company on Raw. CM Punk is one of those names, and what better way to kick off the next era of Raw on Netflix than by having CM Punk as one of the world champions. Ratings are always up when Punk is on the show, and him as the World Heavyweight Champion is only going to benefit WWE in the long run. Not to forget that CM Punk has always been one of the biggest merchandise sellers in the company, and WWE seriously takes this into account when they want to crown someone as a world champion. I know this may bother many Gunther fans out there, but Punk as the world champion means he'll be on the show for most weeks, and he's going to make his programs feel like the biggest thing in the entire company. Something which Gunther lacks right now. Punk vs Rollins was always going to be for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40, and the impending feud will only get better as an unhinged Rollins isn't going to appreciate that someone like Punk has the world title that he made relevant in the first place. You never know, Rollins may even defeat Gunther, and then we send Punk into WrestleMania chasing down the World Heavyweight title, as this would ring true to his previous comments about Rollins not having anything right now, so he doesn't think of him at all. If Roman vs Rock is still the plan for WrestleMania 41, I would really like to see Punk and Rollins main event night 1 of WrestleMania. Punk as the world champion doesn't sound that crazy to me, and all the signs point towards him winning the title in 2024 at some point. And in fact, my early prediction, I can already see Drew McIntyre being the man to dethrone CM Punk. So what do you guys think? Should Punk defeat Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion? Do you think CM Punk should become World Heavyweight Champion at all? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more, and click the video on screen to see if CM Punk made it into my shortlist for the best wrestlers of 2024.